Swasti Shri Ganeshaya Namaha Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Sai Ishwaraya Vidmahi Satyadevaya Dhimahi Tannah Sarva Prachodayat Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahe Tejasvinavaditamastu Mavit Vishavahe Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukh Bhagavave Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shri Sai Ram. Good evening and welcome to day 15 of the Atma Chalisa Parayanam. Today, I was guided to the site of the Himalayan masters, and I was not so surprised to find that every year they celebrate a 40-day spiritual festival which starts 40 days before Guru Purnima, and they end it on Guru Purnima day as their ode to their master Swami Rama. And so I said, we're also doing a 40-day spiritual festival. And we are celebrating not just the Himalayan masters, we are celebrating every living master, all the energies of one consciousness. And the date has been chosen not by the mind, not to coincide with anything, but it is happening in its own time, in its own way. And we don't have a format. We are going free flow. We are moving every event to another event as the consciousness wills. So yesterday, day 14, we spoke about permanence and that resides in impermanence. The whole world has been created to be a place of impermanence. It's constantly changing. And in that changing world, we come in, we take birth in a body to experience that we are changeless. We are permanent. We are beyond the mind and the body. We are eternal, immortal, and we are the ever-present consciousness. The only thing that is not there is first our understanding, second our experience, third is our awareness. So what comes and goes is not the consciousness. What comes and goes is the awareness. If the awareness is always there, if it is ever present, then we are always experiencing consciousness. And it is actually a fallacy to say divine consciousness, universal consciousness, because there is only one consciousness. So we cannot qualify this consciousness by saying Vikas consciousness, Philippa consciousness, or God consciousness, Jesus consciousness, Rama consciousness, Satya Sai consciousness. That's just our way of our mind to hold on to name and form. We are so fascinated with name and form that we kind of, even for consciousness, we want to put a name to it and call it something. But what do? That's how we have been, brought up. That's how the stupid mind has always looked at things. It always wants an explanation. It always wants a name. It always wants to hold on to something. So we call it universal consciousness. Only for the moment, till we know that there is no two types of consciousness. The consciousness does not get sullied, does not get soiled, does not get dirty if it goes in the body or mind of a person who's a killer. It does not get pure if it comes in the body of a saint. The consciousness is unblemished. It does not have any attributes. It is what it is, beyond the definitions of right and wrong, pure and impure, auspicious or inauspicious. And it is our mind which keeps categorizing it, and it's our thoughts which come from our fascinations or our repulsions, from our sense of romance, from our sense of dreams, passions. All that creates an interesting set of emotions. We spoke about emotions also yesterday, and these emotions are nothing but we believing in something strongly, that thought adds a dimension of an energy to it, and it becomes a strong feeling. And ultimately, actually, divine consciousness also we start experiencing as a feeling of an energy, but it's really not having any kind of a quality to it. And so slowly, as a first step, we start to get into the experience. And as the experience comes, we are able to let go of the filter or the strong glasses that we are wearing, which color this consciousness. And slowly we start to see it as the cataract from our eyes is removed. The cataract of eyes based on judgment, opinions, and the mind and the thoughts. We are actually in that process. We are every day, there is something significant opening inside each one of us. There is a realization which is coming to us. And that's why this intense 40 days is essential, because it is going to shift things for us. I am assuring you, I am guaranteeing to you, if you hold on to what we are doing, and if you do not, give it a break, the intensity that's building up is going to carry us through. So today on day 15, we are extending the discussion even further, and we're coming to a very important conclusion today. And we've been building this conclusion up for a while. And I want to do the final appeal to the mind today, so that the mind can finally rest in peace, stop troubling all of us, because the mind is used to logic, a very rational thing. It lies logic. So I am today giving to all the minds here a logic which it cannot deny, because that logic is based on experience, and it's not my experience. We are going to be talking about the experience of each one of us, because each of your minds has to today surrender. So I've used this acronym earlier. I'm going to expand on it today. We have in this lifetime, at least, if not in every lifetime, but definitely this lifetime, because all of us do remember our life so far. We have all of us aged. Okay. So aged we have physically, aged we have in number of years, since we were born or we took a body. And ever since that, till this day, we've had thousands and thousands of experiences. We've dealt with thousands and millions of situations. We've met over our lifetime hundreds of people. With some, we have happy memories. With some, we have sad memories. And some we do not remember at all. But definitely each one of us has had variety of experiences with a variety of people. And what's interesting is, if all of you were to look back at your life and think about the major events in your life that happened, and you should do this exercise today in your own journals, because while I'm talking, I cannot focus on everybody and I can't get into a conversation with each one of you, but I'm going to give you the gist of it. But you must test what I'm going to tell you today when you sit back and do manana, which is that if you look back in life and look at some of the happy experiences you've had and some of the unhappy experiences that you've had in this lifetime. And if you try and remember and recall them, 9 out of 10 times, you will find that you're able to recall those experiences that made you feel very uncomfortable or sad. And there will be maybe 1 or 2 times out of 10 that you would be able to remember those moments where you were very happy in life. And in the unhappy moments, which are a majority, because somehow our mind holds on to the memories of unpleasant things and happiness kind of gets washed away. And that's the reason why we hold on to the negative things in people much more than appreciating all the good things around us. It's something that the mind revels in. It's very adept at it. So in those experiences that you will put on your graph of life, those moments which made you unhappy, sad, then you will realize that during those moments, when you went through each of those situations, it felt as if the whole world was ganging against you. And during that time, it was very difficult to overcome that experience of grief or sadness. And we would cry and get angry and, we would call people names and we felt that life was so unfair. And we felt it is almost impossible to get through that experience. So therefore, over a period of time, we've used a lot of support from outside. Some of us in India, I don't know if it happens overseas, but in India, whenever things don't go well, we often go to an astrologer and we ask them, show them our time of birth and ask them, we want an explanation of why things are going wrong. And then once an explanation is given, then, we don't take it that it is, we say it is the stars, but we don't realize that it is our karma. But then we ask them, to give us some upai or some kind of a solution, quick fix to overcome it. Some go to psychologists, some go and cry and take comfort and solace with friends, elders. But whatever, we try and do many different things to cope up and overcome those moments of sadness. And at that time, those thoughts are so overpowering, the negative thoughts in us, because we do not see any ray of hope at that time. And the intensity of the emotion that we go through is so severe that is what makes the experience so uncomfortable for us. Yeah. And it happens to all of us. But now, if you were to again imagine that period and go back to some of those extreme emotion moments, then either some of them we will not be able to even remember, or if we do remember, the intensity of the emotion is lost. And thirdly, we would also realize that we have come out of all that. And that time when something happens to us, we feel as if the whole world is ganging up against us. Even our stars are ganging up against us and we feel miserable and unhappy. But today we know that not only we came out of it, not only we dealt with it, we are not experiencing any of that today, which means that what we went through at that point of time, though it was so real at that time, it felt so real that, we went through such extreme emotions. And today, after, let's say, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, we find it even difficult to recall. Or if we recall it also, we'll say how childish we were. So which tells us that if it was real, then it should have even stayed with us even now. But because it was fleeting and it remained temporarily with us for that time period, and today we don't even acknowledge it, means that what is happening to each one of us, even right now, all the thoughts and emotions you're going through are also unreal. They are temporary. They are impermanent. They are just passing clouds. And they become dark clouds only because we put emotion to it. We actually give birth to negativity ourselves. And since we focus on the problem, we focus on the event, we focus on judging people is because it becomes a sad experience in our life. Every situation, every event, every person is just another person. Every situation is just another situation. Every event is just another event. It is the mind which slots it in a box. We build these matrices around us. We build these walls around us and we start to categorize. And then we well into it. We keep thinking about it. We keep thinking about it and we start feeling unhappy. And if this unhappiness was for real, then even today, all of us should be unhappy because life has given us enough moments to be unhappy. But the very fact that all of us are here and the very fact that we are positively looking at and having our experiences tells me that what we had experienced so strongly in life is not for real. We imagine it at that moment, it is to be real. So these are passing clouds. That is why we say this too shall pass. It came from a wisdom of all those who realized that these are events which are orchestrated by the mind and they do not remain, they are not permanent. And the permanent experience is the self, and that is what we have to today clearly take this decision with the right understanding of going back into our life in the past, looking at every event. So please today do a manana. I want you to go and write down all these events and see how much of it do you remember, how much of the intensity of that event you are able to create. So what has truly happened for each one of us during this time? Every time a situation came in our life, every time an event came in our life, every time some interesting people came in our lives, what did we do? The first thing we did was we adapted. We've always adapted to every situation, every circumstance, and we figured out a way of how to handle it and how to come out of it. And each one of us has done it. That's why we are here today. We have successfully negotiated life. We've successfully negotiated all those unhappy, emotionally strong moments of life. And therefore, this adaptation, this resilience comes to us naturally, and we have grown. We have grown in our understanding of life. We've grown in our understanding of people. We've grown much more stabler in our emotions. And when we look back, when we use this expression, oh, how childish it is, and how many times in our lives we have been childish ourselves. So when we say how childish to our own selves, to our own experiences, means we have grown. That's why we can laugh at it and call it childish. And we have therefore evolved, age, adapt, grow, evolve. So evolution is the natural and inherent process of all living beings. And it is coming from our own lives. All of us born in different places, different countries, different economic criteria. Almost everything, about our lives and situations and events has been different from each other. But there is one commonality, that we've had happy experiences and sad experiences. We've had sad experiences that we found almost impossible, but yet we've dealt with them and we've grown and we've evolved. And the next set that awaits us is the ultimate step. We are just this teeny weeny step away from the highest point of evolution, highest point of our experience, that I am that consciousness which has created not just this birth of mine, but also which has created this play field, this whole world in which I am interacting along with my family members and friends and the rest of the 7.8 billion people. And it is that last set which we are yet to experience. So I want each one of you today, tonight, depending upon where we are located in which part of the world, for the ones who have a night in front of them, I want you to sit and really ruminate about this, reflect, do a lot of manana and reflect about this, how beautifully we are set up by our own consciousness to be at the verge of experiencing that for which we have taken innumerable births. So I want you to first see how clever this consciousness is, how cleverly it has been giving us experiences, how beautifully we have grown, how wonderfully we have evolved, that we have reached that point where we are at the cusp of experiencing the ultimate experience. And I want you to celebrate, rejoice, and tell yourself, well done. All of us are here right now, just waiting to cross over. Pennies have been dropping and they'll start dropping very fast now. Time is coming. We're 15 days in and we're moving. So welcome to this magical journey and of removing all these layers under which we have hidden ourselves. Remove this cataract from these inner eyes, not the outer eyes, and start experiencing the joy that comes from stillness, that comes from the understanding, that comes when the unreal is removed. And we've done a beautiful progress in these 15 days. So please applaud for yourself, pat yourself on the back that we have reached a major milestone in our understanding, in our understanding of our own journey, in our understanding of our own selves. And please say thank you to the mind, because the mind has been a great friend of ours. It has brought us till here, and it is now allowing us to surrender to the consciousness. And it hands over today the reins of our life to the consciousness. So great applause and thank you to our mind, and thank you for letting go, and thank you to all of you for being here. It's because of you that this is happening, and it's because of you all this is being brought by the consciousness. And gratitude to all the masters who are channeling their understanding in the most simplest and profound way. So thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless you all. Lots of love and light. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Lots of love and blessings to Harbhajan. Sairam.